Our first semifinal underway.
Heinzer's coming off very aggressively.
Yeah, this is what we saw all day today, isn't it? Dancing around like a boxer.
Santarelli was a little bit more ready for it. Counterattack with a duck.
Well, the Italian coaches have had all day to study.
That's true.
To study this. They know Heinzer. They know him well.
Very good feint disengaged by Santarelli to give a 2-0 lead.
Heinzer missing the first time, getting it on the remise.
Santarelli is a little out of distance with the counterattack, and Heinzer took advantage of the moment. Put his hands in the air. The showman.
Really?
Yeah.
Heinzer stepping in there, and Santarelli simply missing.
Heinzer keeping the initiative with the tempo of the actions. The moving back and forth is a little disorienting. Santarelli can't really set up his own feeling, which is where he's most effective, is when he's really setting up and creating very cool things. Heinzer's kind of hogging all of that initiative, if you will.
Santarelli is really using distance well here, though. Yeah, that may be the only weapon he's got just at the moment, but he's...
When you have someone who's very creative like this, sometimes you just hope they run out of ideas. So the later they are in the bout, they sometimes have good counterattack, very solid counterattack, picking good moments here, especially early on. He's not opening his bag of tricks that early. Heinzer's showing him a lot of different things, though. I'd be surprised if this goes all 3 periods for counterattack. Heinzer's points on today, too. To the foot. Heinzer moves his foot out of the way, counters to the short target.
Santarelli picked that up beautifully.
Well, Santarelli likes to do a lot of his actions in the box as well, so it's good to see. So he has a good feel for those attacks right off the line. Heinzer pulling distance to create some space for himself. Santarelli closing the distance.
Heinzer seems to have settled himself just a bit
A little
here.
bit.
Not quite as much dancing around.
Oh, he's gotten hit on a few of them. Santarelli's comfortable in this game. He plays it himself in his own way. Right in his face. Not letting Heinzer develop a long attack with creative blade takes.
Well, we are approaching a point at which non-combativity could be called if the point isn't scored. We're basically on a shot clock with the new non-combativity rule. And with Heinzer trailing, he's the one that gets the card.
Wow.
And there it is, our first call of non-combativity.
He's okay with it.
And it is Heinzer. Now on a yellow card, what is called a P yellow.
But they can go to the end of the period before there'll be another card, so he's comfortable taking that. And this is hardly a defensive fight. So I think both fencers are comfortable creating actions for themselves. That's how they both got here.
Lovely from Max Heinzer. Brings us level.
A lot of misdirection, a lot of movement at the very end. Stayed very still, placed the point right near Santarelli's bell guard, and Santarelli hit himself. Clever use of tempo. Santarelli's cautious as he goes into the end of the first period.
Well, that will do it for our first period. We're level, just like we started, and you know, an interesting start to this match, and that they're both sort of, you know, feeling each other out. And you know, have we discovered anything new in this opening period?
Well, we discovered that Santarelli is capable of defending himself against Heinzer's big bag of tricks and changes in tempo. So I think that Heinzer is now a little more cautious on the different things that he can put in front of Santarelli. Santarelli is great at fencing right off the line. And that's where Heinzer likes to surprise people. So I think Heinzer's going to need to think of different things to put Santarelli's way to create touches for himself.
We just saw Santarelli's coach having a lot to say to him. What do you think he might be telling him?
I think he's saying to keep the distance really close, to keep Heinzer from creating long situations where he can kind of roll and create an attack. So I think that would be the approach.
All right, we're ready to start our second period in our first semifinal match. Defending champion Max Heinzer and Andrea Santarelli.
Clever. Clever time to go.
Let's see if we get a replay here. We haven't had very many of them in this match so far.
Santarelli setting up his own long action, almost. Heinzer approaching, displacing the target. This could be part of his new tactic. He was keeping his blade more of a four-line in the first period. Now he's just keeping it up. Maybe either to close high or create misdirection. Ooh. Nice touch. Nice touch. Yeah, he kept the blade high, kept the point high to draw the counterattack, and then was able to attack over top. So what we're seeing is invitation, and then right over the bell guard with a flick. Very nice touch. Very high skill touch.
They've been content to just trade hits here in the early going, but somebody's going to need to break it open.
Santarelli fencing very patient here. Just looking for Heinzer to get a bit too bold with his preparation.
That was very nice from Santarelli.
If you were to put Italian fencing in one touch, it'd look a bit like this. It would look like this. Coupe, back. They all do this. They all do this brilliantly. Coupe back flick. Heinzer's good at this touch too, so that must have felt good.
Yeah.
That must have felt good giving him a bit of his own medicine.
That's a big circular C over the shoulder.
Santarelli seems content drawing Heinzer's attack. He thinks he's found enough of the pattern to weather the storm, if you will. In previous bouts I've seen him fence, he's usually very aggressive, very on the march, but he's remaining defensive and finding good moments either with the parry or the counter. Very mature fencing. Double touch.
It's their first double for this match.
En garde. Prêt. Allez.
Big pull and distance. Approach at a strange angle. Now when he's done this, he's usually gone to the short target, see if he gets creative with something a little deeper to the body. Not as willing as earlier in the bout to let those big attacks fly. Santarelli's earned some respect. Santarelli's preparations are smaller, more controlled. Just kind of interrupting Heinzer as he tries to build an action. Good touch.
Yeah, but Santarelli is playing this really well.
That was clever. That was super clever. It looked like he was drawing the attack and he was setting up his own attack.
Prêt. Allez.
Very, very pretty beat touch. And then right out of the gate, yeah, that's worth a yell. Let him hear it. Good stuff. Right out of the gate, right when your opponent is regrouping to put another touch together, you attack. Smart.
Allez.
At the end of the period, too. Nice second period by Santarelli. Really, really well fenced.
Well, we said somebody was going to have to break it open, and Andrea Santarelli has done just that. Santarelli's done a great job, I think, of keeping the lid on here in the second. And you used the word frustrating. He is definitely frustrated. Whatever Heinzer is trying to set up, he's not letting him do it, is he?
Absolutely. He's disrupting what Heinzer likes to do, which was showing a lot of misdirection with big blade actions and big preparations.
Well, now it is Heinzer's coach that's got a lot to say. What do you think that his coach is telling him?
I wish I had a better answer for you. He fences so different than a lot of other guys. So when it comes to showing preparations and creating actions, he comes at him from such a strange angle that I don't know how much of it is stuff that him and his coach work and discuss, or how much of it is just things that he thinks of on the spot. He's probably either telling him to be more or less aggressive or choose targets more so than actual preparation, because I think a lot of that stuff comes from the top of his head.
Well, third and final period ready to start, and Max Heinzer facing a 3-point deficit against Andrea Santarelli. And based on what we've seen so far, it's going to be really difficult for him to get that back. Now he's dancing around, jumping from side to side on the piece. We get more of the boxer coming in, and that worked for him that time.
The adjustment appeared to be, at least with the first touches, to really crank up the tempo. Here we go, just straight attack. The touch itself looks rather pedestrian, but the setup before it was kind of disorienting. So you wouldn't think that Heinzer would just go straight with an advanced lunge with his arm already extended.
It's our second double there. That's not helping Heinzer at all.
A counterattack. But it was off his initiative, and I think it's important, especially at this level, to keep your own sense of confidence and creating touches off of the things you like doing.
Heinzer, a question of some sort for the referee, but not sure what it was.
I think his blade was bent, he was fixing it. Maybe it was to give the blade to draw Santarelli.
He knocked the tip off of Santarelli's blade.
I hope it wasn't one of those new Franchini blades that they all use. He knocked the point right off of it. That was awesome. You don't see that too often.
See if we get the replay here. We do watch.
Bang. ESPN not top 10. Brilliant.
Okay, ready to go.
En garde. Prêt. Allez.
Big blade actions by Heinzer. Just trying to create blade contact. And Santarelli careful just to keep it away just enough. Just not give him the tempo to work off of.
Based on recent experience, he probably wants to make sure his equipment bill doesn't go up.
Whoop. Big body feint. Two parry posts, no trick. Yeah, good yell. Didn't fall for any of it.
You see the replay
Straight
here.
comes.
It looks like
Two parry
Heinzer
posts.
is overextended there.
And he thought he could sneak in on the low line, but
En garde. Prêt.
Santarelli was completely ready.
Allez.
Off the blade too, nice repost. Heinzer needs to think of something clever. Something that to get within distance. A little bit of a march, point displaced. I think he's going to flash. Oh, counter, showing the counter. Maybe for the counter or something else.
High.
Heinzer goes for the
One
foot.
for the foot. Distance was too close for it. Santarelli counters right onto his shoulder. Short preparation by Santarelli. Heinzer goes in the second one. Santarelli has already buried him with in the shoulder when he goes for the foot.
High.
Another double. That's our third.
Heinzer tried.
And we're getting to a point here where Heinzer can afford no more doubles.
Yeah, he has to put the point on and just his point.
Ali.
So we're going to see a lot of blade contact, or he'll just go.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, he's 1 point away from going.
Yeah.
Going home with a bronze medal.
Ali.
Let's see if we get anything. Whoa. See if Heinzer goes get him. Oh my gosh.
The referee puts his hand up.
Missed,
Nothing given.
missed putting the point on by very little.
En garde. Prêt. Allez.
Let's see if Heinzer has a couple more tricks left in him to bring this into a more reasonable bout. And you have to think about the clock as well. There's only 40 seconds left. You say you get this one, you
I
get to
mean,
think about.
that is you know, in epee that's a world of time. But Santarelli has played this brilliantly, and he knows that Heinzer has to press.
Oh,
That was a nice.
yeah,
That was nice.
that's Heinzer in a nutshell. Is this touch?
Let's see if
6
we-
coupe back flick.
En garde. Prêt.
Yeah, we're not going to get a replay. Of that. That was a nice hit.
Nice distance for it.
He's trying to find a way through. Santarelli's not going to give it to him.
They're so close. Yeah.
Well,